So what is bariatric weight loss surgery orientation meeting? Say that fast 3 times. If you don't know, we're going to talk about it today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Valerie and you're watching VSG Trek, where you'll learn all things bariatric. The surgeries, the food, the advantages, and the potential disadvantages, but ways around them. So if you're interested in losing weight, gaining confidence, and enhancing your life, I've lost 115 pounds through bariatric surgery, kept it off for 5 years. So you're in the right place. Let's talk about it. So let's get right to it. What's the point? So it's a weight loss surgery orientation meeting. Sounds pretty self-explanatory. It's going to orient you about bariatric surgery. But there's basically 4 components to it that maybe you didn't know about. So it's a little daunting to want to sign, because you have to sign up to go to one of these meetings. So there's 4 components, and the first is the surgeons, the nurses, and the people that were going to be helping you through that surgery. So you're going to meet surgeons, at least one of them that's in your program. That surgeon is going to spend most of the meeting time telling you about 4 different types of surgeries that you can have. Well, I'm not going to go into each one of the surgeries here. I'll do that in other videos, so you can look down in my links below and we'll talk about each one of those different types of surgeries. They're going to talk about that, and they're going to talk about what the risks are associated with it, what criteria you have to meet in order to go through that surgery, and what the specifications might be that would make you a better candidate for this type of surgery rather than that type of surgery. So they're looking for your health. The second component is you're going to meet the nurses, some of the other healthcare providers that may be helping you through the process, maybe the dietitian, maybe the psychologist. They may show up at these meetings to talk to you about what their part of the process is. So you're going to get to meet them, and I think that's a great opportunity for you to ask questions that you hadn't thought about before. The third component is going to be the bariatric patient themselves, people who've actually already been through these surgeries. And I think that's the best component of this whole meeting, is that you get to meet people who've already been through the surgery, and they're going to talk about their experience, their ups, their downs, their successes, their failures, what they find about the surgery that has been useful to them. And no one holds them back in terms of what they say. They get to talk freely, so no one's holding them back. You get a real picture of what your life might be like if you had this surgery or that surgery. And typically, they'll have bariatric patients there from each one of the different types of surgery. You know, somebody from sleeve, somebody from gastric bypass, somebody from band. So they're going to talk about their experience with you, and I think that's the most valuable piece of the orientation meeting. Then the 4th component to the meeting is the question and answer process, where you get to ask the surgeons, the nurses, and the bariatric patients your own questions that are specific to what you have questions about, right? Not everyone's going to have the same question. Now, there will be similar questions, and speaking of questions, I have a downloadable link to a list of the top 10 questions I would ask if I were going to a weight loss orientation meeting, and you can download that for free just by going to the link below in the comment section, okay? Also, tell me what your question is, and I'll try and answer it here. So put that in the comments below as well, all right? And then that section of the meeting is probably your best opportunity to have that one driving question that's driving you crazy about what you want to know about bariatric surgery. So is it the food piece of it? Is it your lifestyle after? Is it how much weight will you lose? Is it how will your family respond, and things like that. So there's all these questions you may have, and in this orientation meeting, you get to ask a whole lot of them. Now, in my next segment, in this video, we're going to talk about reasons that you may not want to attend, or something that's holding you back from attending an orientation meeting. Now, let's talk about maybe some of those things that might be holding you back from going to an orientation meeting. So one of the first elements that may hold you back is that people may find out about you going to this meeting, and you're concerned about that. Well, my recommendation to you is that you shouldn't be concerned about that at all. And I know that's easy for me to say because I'm on the other side of it. However, here's the thing. Unless you tell somebody, no one's really going to know. So you don't really have to worry about it. So what if you run into somebody you know at the meeting? Well, they probably don't want anybody to know they're there either. So you just pretend each other doesn't exist. Seriously, I did this in a very rural area, very small community, and I didn't run into anybody that I knew. As a matter of fact, I go back to support meetings on a regular basis, and I still don't run into people that I know, except for people that I met through the process, through the program. Other than that, I didn't know them before this. And I live in a small rural area. So I think it's possible that you can do this initially without anybody really knowing so that you can feel comfortable about doing it, okay? That's my recommendation. First, don't worry about it because even if they do, this is your body, your health, you get to take care of it, okay? On your terms. Two, one of the things that bothered me that I was worried about is that it was gonna be a sales pitch, like a used car salesman or something, right? Hey, wanna buy a surgery from me? It only costs this much, we can get it to you for this much. I just didn't want to be sales pitched. And honestly, my program was all about your health. That's all. All about you and your health and what works for you. There was no talk about sales, trying to pitch this to you, trying to sell you on it, that it was the best thing ever. They talk about the realities of this program. And if you're in a program that doesn't talk about your health first and they only talk about finances and getting it paid for, granted, you're going to have those questions, but if that's their first priority, run in the other direction. They should be discussing with you your health first. First thing is your health. So make sure that they're talking to you about that. And if they're not, go to a different program because I guarantee you're going to find one that will talk about you and your health, okay? So the third thing that people worry about when they go into it, or at least I did, was what if this doesn't work either? What if it doesn't work? Then what? Now I've just, done stuff to my body that I can't reverse. I don't know anybody that this doesn't work for who follows the process, who follows the program. So that shouldn't be a concern of yours unless you're someone who cannot follow the rules. If you can't follow the rules, then you probably shouldn't be in this process. But you'll learn that about yourself as you go through the program. By the way, you can go through this program from start to finish to the day you're going to have surgery. And if you decide not to have surgery, you don't have to have surgery. There is nothing at this orientation meeting where you sign on the dotted line that you're having surgery. Nothing. You can go through the entire process, go to all the meetings that you're required to go to all the doctor's appointments you're required to do, lose all the weight that you're supposed to lose prior to surgery, get to that last stage, you're sitting on the gurney waiting to go into surgery, and if you choose not to have surgery, you get to choose not to have surgery. So there's no commitment by going to the orientation meeting. You are there to get information. My final thought on this, go to an orientation meeting. The reality is the only regret most people have is not going sooner. Whether you decide to do it or whether you decide not to do it, the only regret people have is not going sooner. Go to the orientation meeting. Call your local program. Google it on the internet. Go to my links below. You're going to find information on your local program and go schedule a meeting and get it done. Go to an orientation meeting, okay? If you have any questions, if you have questions that are burning you up inside before you even make this thing and you want me to answer them, put them in the comments below and I'll answer them for you, okay? Download my link on the top 10 questions you should ask while you're at the orientation meeting, and I'll see you when I see you.